Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Entertainment Roadmap. Today we are here with John El-Jor. He plays Jason Weems in the new Mean Girls musical movie. John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing so great. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to talk to you and just get to know your story. So I think we want to start off with just hearing about your journey through acting. Where did you start? When did you start? How did it kind of come to be?
Yeah, of course. I think like a lot of actors, I caught the bug a little younger. I was just doing a middle school musical. It's called Dear Edwina Jr. and I played Scott Kunkel. And I think it was my prized role. I think it really got me to where I am. No, but it was really cool. And that was the first show I did, and from there I just kind of kept doing like the daily, yearly kind of musical things at school, and then went to college for musical theater at Penn State, and was able to really explore just kind of a lot of different facets of the creative element and art there, and figuring out kind of what this uh there's a word that I'm looking for, it's not there, what this medium of art is and kind of how it operates, and learning the ins and outs and the rules and how to break the rules, and now I'm here.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. And I mean, going to college for musical theater is like no easy thing. I know that requires like a lot of auditions, right? And all of that.
Yeah, going to college for musical theater is like, just I think it's like Dante's seventh layer of hell. It's that audition process is grueling, and yeah, it's a lot of schools where they have like thousands of applicants, and then they pick like 10 people or like 12 people. So it was a lot, and I'm sending all the love to all the little musical theater seniors out there who are going through the process literally right now as we do this interview. That truly, like, it's these couple months. I was just
Oh my,
city, and there was tons of them.
yeah, I mean, I didn't go for musical theater, but I feel like once you're out of high school and college, you forget about that application process and how like for everyone it's so scary. And then like add on top of this, it's auditions and waiting, and like you said, only 10 people get picked. So congratulations on taking that route and it working out, and now you're in the new Mean Girls film, so how exciting.
It was super super exciting. Yeah, and I don't know, they're making those youth much more talented year by year. It's very scary. They're all really
Yeah, one of my closest friends is like she's sending in so many auditions now to musical theater and like theater schools in general, and like it seems so stressful just hearing it from her.
100. Yeah, and I college audition coach on for like my voice studio as well, and so being, I think, like in that process still,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm uh, like perpetually anxious from their experience. I'm like anxious on behalf of them. It's really crazy.
Yeah, and speaking of auditions, what was the audition process like for Mean Girls?
Yeah, the audition process for Mean Girls was post-COVID. It's been a lot of like self-taping kind of stuff. So it was actually a self-tape for Kevin G originally, and I sent that in, and they said no. Well, they didn't say anything, which means no. And and then I got another audition request to read for Jason Weems. So I was reading his lines and his scenes, but it wasn't for his character. I was actually reading for a character called Christian Wiggins, who you'll see a guy named Jordan played him, but you'll see him like throughout the movie. And I ended up reading the Jason Weems sides, and they liked it, I guess. And then yeah, I got the offer for Jason, and the rest is great history.
Jason is a memorable character. He's in the movie and the Broadway show, and now this one. And they added more to it even in this version, and so it was really funny to see. Mhm.
Yeah, they did. I was it was a crazy like whirlwind of, there's a lot of like quotable things from the original Mean Girls, and I feel like a lot of the quotes that we say, we don't realize like it's not maybe just like not always like the plastics or like things like that. And I didn't realize that like the whole butter your muffin quote was Jason Weems. And yeah, and my friend texted me that one day and I was like, I don't remember any of the girls saying that. And he was like, no, you say that. And I was like, oh. And so yeah, it was just really cool to see like a character that I saw growing up and got to kind of redo it in a similar but new take. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And I mean, I think one thing about this new film that's so amazing is it really captured the iconicness of the original version and the musical and really made it its own thing as well. And then it just became even more iconic. Like it just kind of like the snowball started rolling and now this is like a big snowman. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, I
it
totally agree. Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, the cast seems phenomenal. From everyone we've spoke to, it seems like everyone was so amazing. So, what was it like working with the cast of Mean Girls?
It was just like the most insane, um, humbling like opportunity ever. I just feel so grateful to have worked with such a talented and like kind-hearted group of people. You don't always uh, find that in really, I mean, in any industry. And it's all these people who are at the top of their game, um, and so like I don't know if like innocent is the word, but like just so virtuous and so um human as people. And it was a very, very beautiful experience to be able to be on a set with people with this amount of success, like great success, but also, are able to interact with you as a person first and a human and not have any of that, cloud judgment. So it was great. And the cast was really like, the cast was young for the most part too. Um, so I felt like we were all able to really tap into the fact that we were all like 19 to like mid 20s, like that's kind of where we all were, and we're all in this similar like journey in life, even though all of our journeys are very different from each other. Um, but we're all like in that same age range where I think we're all getting life together and seeing what it is. So like from a person to person aspect as well, it was just beautiful to be on the set with such great people.
Yeah, and even off the set, you got to go to the premiere. So, what was that like, kind of watching the film in that setting?
I was so scared. Not that I had any doubt as to what the team had created. I was terrified to see me. Um, yeah, I think part of that is like I look different in the film than in like I think regular life. I think I look a little bit different. Um, and so I was like, there was like some insecurity there. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want. It was my first movie, so like I was like, I don't want to see myself act. Like I was so used to theater stuff where it's like on the stage and then you forget it. No one has a video of it, or I guess no one technically should have a video of it, but there's probably some lurking around somewhere. And so I was like, oh no, this is cemented forever. And I got really, really nervous. But post screening, I mean post premiere, we had another kind of like Paramount Mean Girls cast crew screening. The second time I saw it, I was like able to just kind of like relax a little bit. And really like soak it all in. But that premiere was terrifying for me.
I can only imagine, truly.
So you were also in like multiple very iconic scenes. Was there one that was the most memorable for you to film?
Oh gosh, there were a couple. I think I don't even want to say first and foremost because there were a couple. One, I can't say a story, but it was fun. It was an insane. It was very memorable. But the one that I can say is the Lay's chips. If I never see Lay's chip ever again, actually that's not true. I really love them. In fact, Lay's, if you're watching this, sponsor me. No, but I was eating those chips for so long, like hours. And I don't know if you've ever like I think the idea of people saying they could eat like an entire bag of chips is so valid. It gets a little crazier when you're like, I could eat this bag of chips for 4 hours straight. And it was like, so I also am not I love this. I love sour cream and onion chips. You know, like I love the salt and vinegar like that. I love, but the plain salt, I was like, I feel like my mom right now. She was really digging into them. But no, that was the most memorable scene was the cafeteria scene because I like just vividly remember having to eat those chips for so long. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is great. But with that, it was awesome, and and I'm very grateful for it. But yeah, Lay's, please sponsor me. I really did eat your chips for so long, for so long.
I feel like too, when you eat too many potato chips, like your mouth starts to get cuts from the salt.
Yeah, it sure does. You're not wrong. It absolutely does. I was like, this, and so at one point I was like, do I have to like, could I just like be? And they were like, it's yeah, consumption, implied consumption. So you need to eat them. And I was like, right, absolutely, and they're delicious. They are delicious. No, it was yeah, it was like when you eat pineapple too, and like you like your mouth just doesn't do it anymore. It was like that, except I think probably worse for your body.
Yeah.
Well, so it was like multiple bags, or did you have like the same bag the whole time?
The same bag the whole time for I'm assuming for continuity. Um, but we would refill the bag with other Lay's chips.
So even when you got to the
Was
end, it
Lay's
wasn't
chips.
the end.
Yeah, no, it was, I was like, yes, like, oh, I can only get on crumbs, and they were like, more chips, and I was like, all right, it's fantastic. There's a video, Danny Banks has a video of it. He worked in the film, and he has a video of me just dancing my life away with this bag of chips. That bag of chips would not leave my hand. In fact, nominate her for the Oscar, the bag of chips.
So we're gonna have Oscars, I mean chips for Oscars, and we're gonna have John as Lay's new like partner. You're gonna be their sponsor. And the
I
video of you dancing can be the commercial.
I listen. If Jason Weems eats Lay's chips, so should you, and that's point.
And kind of moving away from Mean Girls, one thing that's really exciting is that you were also on American Idol. And what's something that people might not know about filming that show? Because I feel like it's really a different kind of experience.
Totally is a insanely different experience than filming something for film or filming something for like scripted TV. Um, yeah, American Idol was it was really strange. The entire way that it started, like I got a call. I actually got a call after I was like in a really, really low point because I had just finished a final for this new Broadway show that was coming in ended up being very, very successful. And I was like, yes, like this is the big break. I can do it. And I like got the call and they were like, hey, no. And I was like, okay, I didn't get it. So and it was like so I was so close. And then I got another call, like truly like 15 minutes later, and it was from a random number. And I was like, okay, I think I know who this is because we had like chatted a little bit, but I was like, maybe not. And then it ended up being the people from American Idol. We like talked about it a little bit. Um, they flew me out to Vegas. It was great. I did my audition and everything. And then I didn't realize that it's like you're kind of in the same outfit for like 4 days in a row. And you don't like necessarily have you don't have a hair and makeup to like the wonderful hair and makeup department that I had with Mean Girls. Like you kind of just like do it every day. And for me, doing my hair every day is insane. It is why I have a beanie on. Yeah, with American Idol, it was like a lot of sitting and kind of like waiting and like you didn't know. Like it was very anticipatory. We were in this room, like this hotel room that they had transformed basically for the show. And you like didn't know when you were going to sing. So you would be in this room from like 6 a.m. until like 10 p.m. every day for like 4 days. And it, no, it was insane. And they'd like randomly call you out in little snippets to do like interviews or like B-roll. And yeah, I've met some of I think people wouldn't assume because I could say a bunch, but I think like the most important thing that I walked away with from that show was the people that I met and like the friends that I made who are all doing great, incredible things. One of the finalists on there, she's like top seven, Haven. Like we've stayed in touch, and like Michael Williams and I have stayed in touch. Everyone go listen to their music, and like Malik was on there, and Vivi was on. There was just a bunch of people, and shouting them all out. Go listen to all of them. They're incredible. That's what I learned is that there's just an insane surplus of talent in in this world, and yeah, they're awesome.
No, there truly is a lot of talent. And I think that speaks a lot about you because not only did you go to theater school, not only were you in Mean Girls, you're also on American Idol. Like you're a triple threat. You can do musical theater, you can act, you can sing. Like you have it all going for you. So congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I tried.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I watch American Idol with my family every time it's on, and I find it so interesting to hear the behind the scenes things that you wouldn't know just from watching the show, because I always wonder what's actually going on
It's
behind.
yeah, it's really wild. I don't know, and it was the season that had like that musical theater montage and so like I was a part of that like random little musical theater montage, and then that clip went viral of Katie saying she's gonna like beat the thespian out of someone or something like that. Um, and so that was my season. That was my day of audition. And yeah, so like they really leaned into the musical theater, and that was a lot of like what they were making. I think my story, I guess, like for lack of better words. And which is really interesting because I do like musical theater, as you said, and I went to musical theater school, but I feel like a little like if this is musical theater and like this is music and like this is act, like I feel like I kind of just like to live central of it all, and I don't think I like really pull harshly to either medium. I think they all like complement each other so well and really mesh. So it was interesting just like hearing people in the pop industry have different takes on what's going on, and also like how many successful musical theater artists have come out of that show. Like I actually was, they told me I was too much like Adam Lambert. This isn't on TV. But they told me I was too much like Adam Lambert and Freddie Mercury. And first of all, I was like, thank you. But also like just thinking of like the J Huds and like um Adam Lambert who's come out of there, and oh gosh, waitress. Oh, what's her name? Oh my gosh, she's so
Yeah.
good.
Is it Sarah? No, I don't know if I'm thinking of the right person.
No, you could be thinking of Sarah Bareilles, and she is amazing, but she did not
That's
win.
right, but I don't think she's American Idol.
No, there's like a ton of like Broadway Justin, what's his face, who just did like Once Upon a One More Time. Um, he like won. He was on the first season of American Idol. There's just so many like Fantasia, who just did the
Mhm.
like Color Purple. So I thought it was really interesting. Like I think there's such a connection between musical theater and pop music, and like I feel like it's all just a circle industry. So that was a long-winded answer to say American Idol was crazy.
Seems like it for sure.
Yeah. But so great. Like it was an awesome experience. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So we kind of touched on this a little bit, how you did theater and you've done some off-Broadway shows. So how does acting in a film and acting in a play differ, and do you prefer one over the other?
Yeah, I don't think I prefer one over the other, like inherently. Um, I think it could be like dependent on day for me. Because sometimes I'm like I wanted, like I think a little smaller, which would be like a little more film TV. And some days I'm like, I want to go sing a little song on a stage, and but I think the biggest difference for me that I learned was with theater, I feel like you're going into a story from like beginning to end, and like the journey that you're going on, and it's like a general 90-minute, 2 hours, something like that, where you're going in and starting the story and then like going on the journey, and you rehearsed it for months, and like how that works. And granted, it's like so different every night. Like you're totally allowed to just like leave it on the stage, and whatever happens happens. You mess up, you mess up. It's like a little more, I don't want to say human, but like a little more non augmented in that way, like where it's just like it is what it is on stage, and you do that journey. With film and TV, it's like you don't always film in order. And you're filming like, yeah, hours a day, but for like probably 6 seconds of footage, so it's like you're not necessarily going on that 2 hour journey every day. So I sometimes find it harder to like get into where I need to be maybe like emotionally for a scene, because we're hopping in and you have 170 bajillion eyes on you, and they're like, okay, ready, and roll sound, roll speed, here we go, and cry, action. And you're like, what? And so that's like a little different, from my perspective. But I love both of them. I love that with film, like you can really, because you're so close up, like you can allow the audience to see what you want them to see. Like you almost have like a not necessarily like a forced perspective or control, but like you have a little more um, room to direct what people should be like looking at and seeing and focusing. And whereas sometimes in theater, I feel like there's because it's so big and it's like in person and human, like as a person, you can't look at 17 billion things at once. So I don't know. I love it all, and I want to do it all forever and ever. And that's my answer.
I feel like that's how you know that you found what you love, like wanting to do it forever and ever. That's how you know that you're in the right industry, you're doing the right job, and you're on the right path.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's like some days it's. I mean, I think any actor will say this. I think even the most successful ones, like some days it's the worst. It's the
Mm.
absolute worst. But like I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And yeah. So I'm like, oh, I'm never doing this again. I'm gonna be an accountant. And then I like spiral for like 15 minutes, and then I'm like, never mind. I really want. This is the stupidest thing. But yeah, it's I really love it. I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
And I just have to ask because I'm not really familiar with musical theater in college. How does that, like, does musical theater work? Does it have like a program where you all kind of follow the same classes and then like, I don't know, this might sound silly. Are your finals like at the end of the year a big play that you put on?
This is
That
a
makes
great
sense.
question. Oh yeah, so it's gonna differ, a little bit from college to college. I went to Penn State for musical theater. Everyone should apply there. This is this is just shameless sponsorship right now. Yeah, so I went to Penn State for musical theater, and the way that we did it was, yeah, you basically have like a cohort of, again, like 10 to 12 people for us that you're taking classes with all 4 years. So we would take, I actually just looked at my transcript truly 2 days ago because I'm applying to something. And it was, I think at minimum, I took 9 classes a semester.
Oh, wow.
So you're on average taking, anywhere from like 9 to 10-ish, right? Classes a semester. Um, for your voice and your dance and everything like that. And you're normally taking like the acting classes together, you're taking your dance classes together, and they have like not a rubric, but like a 4 year layout kind of like this is what you'll take, and then you go to this, and then you go to this, and you go to this, and you go to this. So you kind of have your entire schedule from the second you sign on to be a 4 year BFA musical theater student. And the only thing that really changes is the like gen eds for the most part. Like which gen eds do you want to take, and when? Because I went to a conservatory school, but inside of a university.
Okay.
So it's like whereas you have some schools that are just strictly a conservatory degree, so you're only doing your arts classes. We went to a conservatory program basically, but inside of a university. So we had to fulfill Penn State University's academic requirements as well as the School of Theater and like School of Music and stuff like that. And the finals, yeah, like you do all that, and it's kind of weird, because it is subjective grading for the most part, but there are things that they can, be like, no, you're not doing your best work, and you're not doing your best work, or like there are ways to keep you in line.
Mhm.
Uh, but finals for the most part are either what we would call like juries, which are for voice, like large presentations of like lists of songs and different styles, and we had to do like classical music and pop rock music and musical theater and all this, like, a bunch of, I don't this my hands aren't helping at all, but range is what I'm trying to say. so yeah, we just did like a bunch of that, and that's kind of like your final for voice and acting. You end up doing like a final scene. It's not the only scene you do all semester, but it's like one that you really really hone in on, and like work it all out. And it just depends class to class. Dance, you also have juries, and it's like a night where you go and you do a bunch of like dance things and learn and do all the combos and everything for the entire program with your dance class and your like dance teachers and your professors. So it's kind of crazy. It's like Victorious, but like not. It's like Victorious, but maybe more expensive. It's it's kind of it's really wild. It's Victorious, but Ariana Grande is not there. She's there like in spirit.
It's
She's there in spirit for sure. Yeah.
Well, that was a great answer because I feel like there are a lot of people who want to go into musical theater, but sometimes you wouldn't think of college as the traditional route. Like you just think, oh, I meant to go right on Broadway. But I feel like in college, you probably get so much more training, so much more prepared and ready to go off into the world. Whereas if you just skip over that step. So I think that turns into great advice for people. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. And everyone's path is different. Renee won the Jimmys and made her Broadway debut, and she's incredibly talented. And so like proof that like you can be so incredibly talented and not
Yeah.
necessarily go that path. But it was super helpful for me. I had no training prior to, and like there wasn't really those kind of award systems set up near where I lived and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really great. But do what you want. And you know what? Reach out. Reach out. Let's all college audition coach together.
Did you have classes for acting for the camera also? Because I know my friend had to take like a separate class for that because her school is more focused on like acting for the stage. So would that be something different that you had to take?
Yeah, yeah, we did some acting for the camera and acting on screen classes. Again, because it was a BFA in musical theater, a lot of our classes were a little more like stage because I feel like specifically with music, like a BFA in acting for stage is yes, and you also do more acting for camera stuff. But we did, and yeah, Wendell Franklin was my teacher for it. Jerry Johnson, who's on Harlem, was my teacher as well for it for a little bit. It was like we kind of like swap people in and out, and it was really really great. Um, but yeah, it's also kind of one of those things where I feel like it was such a foundation in acting in general, not even like TV or like stage or anything. But it was such a strong foundation, which I don't think you often get at musical theater programs. So I was so grateful for that in acting that like the second we had to do like an acting on camera class or like acting for the screen, it was like you kind of knew the technique already and you just did like less. And it was super easy and super great to do that.
No, that's awesome. And here at Entertainment Roadmap, we love to do a hot seat section. So are you willing to sit in the hot seat and answer some questions?
Absolutely.
Perfect. So first, Apple or Android?
It's Apple. It's Apple for me. It's so much easier. I don't know if I'm supposed to explain anything or if I
You can if you wanted. But no, I agree. App. Whenever I see someone with the green bubble, that's an automatic
can't do it. Thank you. Like what you want me to like get a notification that you like hearted a message of mine? I can't do that. Not like a phone notification. I'll give the caveat. I'm aware Android fully has better technology.
They do, yes.
We all know. We're not hiding it, okay? But we just I need to airdrop things, is what I'm saying. And I
You
say
know,
that. Someone with an Android's like, we can airdrop, and I'm like, no, it's not the same. Oh,
and
how?
also it doesn't even tell you like if I'm texting someone who has an Android, it doesn't tell you if my message went through or not to them. Like if it doesn't go through at all, I'll get a notification, but if it's still like sending, I'll never know if they got it at all.
That's not good for us with anxiety. We can't do that.
No. Okay, favorite Mean Girls character.
I think it like has to be absolutely the mom. I think it has to be in this mom.
She was so good.
She was.
hmm
And what's your favorite book, TV show, or movie as of recently?
of recent, let's think. The latest book that I've been hitting is actually it's not the latest book I've read, but I've really been sticking with it. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. It's very beautiful. And TV. Oh Lord, I just finished season two, one, two of Tell Me Lies on Hulu. Please cast me. I love The Mick. I think The Mick is such a great TV show. I think it's so silly. And oh Lord, those are the two in my mind right now. That's what I got for you. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I haven't seen Tell Me Lies, but it's on my to watch list. So I might have to bump it up a few.
I binged it. I just got COVID the other week and I was like, all right, well, I have nothing to do. So I need to fully just like look at everything ever right now.
Yeah.
It's great.
And also, I love the Mick. I think that show is really funny. It's so good.
So
I
underrated.
I recently rewatched it, and I wish it was still going.
It was so fantastic. Yeah, can we make another
Hmm.
season, please?
Hmm.
That's what I want.
Definitely. If you could work with any actor or director, who would it be?
Okay, I've thought about this, and this is on my Hinge profile. So I do want in my lifetime to do a spin-off of some sort of show about three brothers. And I want it to be me, Christopher Abbott, and Kit Harington. And I want us to play brothers that were separated by a mother. So this is like kind of the answer that you're looking for, but not really. It's more me manifesting this into the universe.
No, go ahead. Put your pitch
Like,
out there.
I
Let's.
need I need Chris's people and Kit's people to hear this right now. And I because I truly do get stopped every week. Like not even like once a week, like probably 2 to 5 times a week, asking if I'm truly Christopher Abbott or Kit Harington. I've
Oh
done
my
this. I
goodness.
have an album on my phone of screenshots of people who have like messaged me things, and they're like, "Oh, I thought you were this." I got stopped at the gym the other day, and I don't go to like a great gym. Like it's like a, it's like a blink. And they were like, "I love your work. I love your work in Game of Thrones." Got the wrong guy. He's not here,
You
man.
know, the second you said those two names, like I immediately saw the resemblance. I didn't think about it before, but you said it, and I see it.
Someone saw Poor Things, which
Mhm.
Christopher Abbott just did, and like texted me, and they were like, "Congrats on the movie." And I was like, I am not in the movie. I don't like I personally I don't see it, but I think it's because like we look at our faces so much that we don't see our resemblance. But I genuinely, and he also just did like Danny in the Deep Blue Sea. And I was near that theater one day, and someone stopped me, and they were like, you were incredible. Oh my gosh, big fan." And I was like, "What?" This is also how I found out the TV show Girls was a thing because I didn't know Girls was a thing, and they were like, it took me probably to like the 15th person saying it when they're like, I loved you on Girls. And I was like, I don't
So
know
funny.
what is happening. So that's my manifestation is that if I could work with any actor or director, I mean, there's a slew of like, I want to do a Ryan Murphy show. Ryan Murphy, you can direct this. That's great.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Murphy, Ari Aster, I think they're like fantastic. Viola Davis, easy like that.
Hmm.
Would murder someone to be don't well, I shouldn't say that publicly. No, I will. I'd murder someone to act across Viola Davis. But it has to be my spinoff that I need someone to write and produce and direct and cast me and Chris and Kate. I'm talking
Think
like I know them. I don't know them. Person, Chris and Kate, oh yeah. No, I have no
if
idea.
if Ryan Murphy directed that, it would either be something like Glee or something like American Horror Story, like either like musical or like kind of creepy.
I, and I'm okay with it going either way.
Mhm.
I am.
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
I
That would.
really
Here's our fingers crossed that we see that show in our lifetime on that screen. We'll be waiting.
working on it. Someone tag them below wherever this is posted.
We will. So if you could be in any Broadway show or any musical, what would it be?
I think currently in the current season, um, MC on Broadway would be so sick in Cabaret. Um, yeah, I just like really, really love that role. Um, I think in the like general realm of Broadway, I'm not sure if like the exact show has been written yet that I'm like that I would sell my soul for, you know? So here's another one. Someone out there, please write a folk rock musical for me. Thank you. But yeah, no, I love everything from like kind of like golden agey stuff to super contempt. Um, I probably live a little more like contempt rock. So yeah, but I really, really love like an actor first track in a Broadway musical. I think it's just so captivating. Um, I love Broadway plays. Oh my gosh, I've been seeing so many recently, and I'm just like it's you just learn. So I feel like I'm like paying for master classes every time I go. It's fantastic. But yeah, last 5 years, if they ever revive that, please, I'd love to be a Jamie. That'd be awesome. So JRB, if you're listening to this, you don't know who I am, but please cast me in that. Yeah, and like Mark and Rent, I think is really sick. I would love to do Aladdin.
Ooh.
Won't happen, but I would love to do it. Um, maybe if Prince of Egypt ever transfers, I'd love to do that. Like I want to do like something Arab, something, and then like something queer, and then something like rock, and then something stable and dramatic. I don't know. I'm down for whatever.
Well, you're so talented. I know we're going to see you elsewhere in the near future, whether that be Broadway, a movie, a TV show, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem. John, thank you so much for joining us today. This was such a great interview, and we were so honored to have you. Thank you again.
Thank you all so much. I had a blast, and I cannot wait to see it when it's out.